Do you know what today is? It's White History Wednesday. Hey, how you doing? It's your girl Maya Lamise, and for those of you who are new here, White History Wednesday was specifically made for the people who said, "Why do Black people need a whole month to tell their history?" And for that, I give you 52 days. You ready to hear it? Here it go. So today we're going to talk about the Colfax Massacre. It happened in 1873 in Louisiana. After a disputed election during the Reconstruction era, Black freedmen and state militia members occupied the courthouse in Colfax. A large Caucasian mob, including former Confederate soldiers, attacked them. Many Black men were unalived after surrendering. After surrendering, did you hear that part? They were unalived after surrendering. Because what type of monster do you have to be to wait till somebody to surrender to unalive them? That shows that you are the inferior one. They had to say, you know what? I don't want to fight no more. And you still took their life anyway. Crazy work. White History Wednesday. Pretty much with estimates of up to 150 deaths, while only a few Caucasian attackers died. This is important because this was one of the deadliest acts of racial violence during the Reconstruction era, and it showed how white supremacist groups violently resisted Black political participation in civil rights, setting a dangerous precedent for future violence and weakening the federal protection of Black citizens. White History Wednesday, because this still go on today. So I want to get into the Atlanta race massacre. I mentioned it before, but I really didn't go into details. So in Atlanta, Georgia, escalating racial tensions fueled by racist newspaper reports. Sounds familiar? The media be controlling things, making us look crazy. Yeah, they got tired of that. And there was political campaigns that led to a violent attack by Caucasian mobs on the city's Black community. Why? It's just like a reoccurring thing. Like y'all just gotta attack us when we minding our own business. I don't understand that. It's crazy. And they unalived dozens and injured many more. This event highlights how media and political rhetoric can incite racial violence and how quickly Caucasian anger turns into a widespread destruction against Black progress. White History Wednesday. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about police brutality and its historical roots, okay? Because everybody is in an uproar right now about what's going on in LA. But I want y'all to know that what's going on in LA with the police and everything like that, that's stuff that's been happening to Black people when we go out and protest. It's nothing new. I seen a video that said of a guy who's actually in the middle of the LA protest, and he said everything is peaceful until the police show up. That's what we've been trying to tell y'all. Stuff be peaceful till they show up and start bothering us, but don't nobody ever want to hear us when they say that because y'all just think we monsters. But it's okay. We're going to talk a little bit about police brutality. So while police brutality is a modern issue, it roots in deep, okay? During the civil rights movement, police often use extreme violence, dogs, fire hoses, beating against peaceful Black protesters simply for demanding their rights, which is what's going on now. Am I right or wrong? They just want their right to stay in this country, and the police tripping. And then the president deployed the military. And now that my thing is, ICE is the one doing all this. So why are you putting the military and the local law enforcement in on this? Let ICE handle their beef. ICE signed up for this. Let ICE handle it. I feel like the police should fall back and the military should fall back because ICE, y'all signed up for this. Y'all okay with snatching people out their homes for the sake of doing your job. Y'all covering y'all face because y'all know y'all doing something wrong. So y'all handle your own beef with the city. Don't bring other people in to handle the beef. Y'all handle that. Anyway, this was often done to maintain racial segregation and control. Why is this important? It's important to understand its history because it shows that the police brutality isn't new, that it's been a tool of racial oppression aimed at suppressing Black and brown liberation movements and maintaining Caucasian control. White History Wednesday, because again, none of this is nothing new. None of this is anything new. We're going to talk a little bit about sundown towns, okay? Because sundown towns has been coming back up due to a variety of people of color coming up missing in quote unquote sundown towns. Okay, so across the U.S., especially in the Midwest and the South, many towns were known as sundown towns. This meant that Black people and sometimes other minority groups were not allowed to be in the town after dark. Signs sometimes explicitly warned them, or the treatment of violence was understood. This is important because these towns enforced racial segregation and fear, limiting where Black people could live, work, travel, and deny them basic freedoms and safety. White History Wednesday, because this is still nothing new. I'm sorry. None of this stuff surprises me, because when they say history repeats itself, it repeats itself. Because a lot of the people that's going missing now in 2025, they're just doing their jobs. They're truck drivers trying to get the load to the destination, or they already dropped the load off and they're trying to get back home. So they're just doing their job, and they ended up in a town where they, quote unquote, wasn't supposed to be. But if this is the land of the free, why can't they be there? White History Wednesday. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about redlining. Redlining started in the 1930s. The government policies and real estate practice in the U.S. literally drew red lines on maps around Black neighborhoods, marking them as hazardous for investments. This made it nearly impossible for Black families to get home loans, even to try to afford them. Meanwhile, Caucasian families were encouraged to buy homes in growing suburbs with federal assistance. Why is this important? Redlining systematically denied Black Americans the chance to build wealth through home ownership, which is a major way families pass down wealth in America. And I want to touch on this simply because, right, they gave federal assistance to Caucasian families trying to get homes, right? And then when immigrants come into America, they get federal assistance. They get all type of grants to open up businesses, to get homes and everything like that. Same thing with the Afrikaners that came. They got land, they got homes, they got land to farm on, they got all of these things. Yet and still, y'all minds are still programmed to think that Black people get the most assistance, when history shows that we get the least amount of assistance. History shows it. This is why White History Wednesday is so important, because some of y'all really be delusional as to who get the most assistance, but it's never been Black people to get the most assistance. It's never been us. We've never gotten the assistance that other races get. In fact, they drew lines to keep us from getting it. Like, oh Lord have mercy. We're going to talk about the Wilmington insurrection. This happened in 1898. This was the only successful overthrowing of an elected government in the U.S. history. We need to listen to this, because how they do this. In Wilmington, North Carolina, a biracial government had been elected. White supremacists, upset by Black political power and economic progress, launched a violent coup. They killed Black citizens, forced Black and white politician leaders out of the office. They had a pew-pew pointing at them, y'all, and installed their own white supremacist government. Do that sound like what's going on now? Okay, we're not going to get into it. This event marked a turning point in the North Carolina and South, ushering in an era of harsh Jim Crow laws and suppressing Black political participation for generations. It wasn't a riot, but an organized act of terror and a power grab. White History Wednesday, because y'all was mad that these people just wanted to be in office to make some decisions for their people. I can't make this stuff up. Okay, so the Rosewood Massacre, that happened in 1923 in a small, predominantly Black town in Florida called Rosewood. Let's talk about this, because it's always a predominantly Black town where Caucasian people come in and just ruin things. White History Wednesday. So false accusations of a Black man assaulting a Caucasian woman led to a week of extreme racial violence. Caucasian mobs from neighboring towns destroyed the entire community, killing many Black residents and forcing survivors to flee into the swamps. The town was never rebuilt, and survivors remained silent for decades out of fear. That just upset me. I mean, I knew about it, but we the monsters, but this is the type of things that y'all do. We the monsters, though, but this is the type of things that y'all do. White History Wednesday.
Maya Lee, back with the heat. White History Wednesday, she posting receipts. Fuck your feelings, she only spitting facts. Sis dropping knowledge while we fade to black. White lies, no alibis, reap what you sow. Black history hit different when the truth unfolds. Talk is cheap, pay us what you owe. Never been our friend, always been our foe. Old white hood, new red hat, change the color of your hate. We still proud and Black.
Y'all have a great day. Have the day y'all deserve. See y'all later.